Hey everybody out there on YouTube, Free Swimmer here. I wanted to do something this afternoon with a little bit of substance to it that might be helpful to some people out there that might be scratching their head, think, man, my water's a little cloudy, or what can I do to make it a little bit sparkly. It's kind of basically the title of this is water quality versus water clarity. There's many times of the day after feeding, after water changes, basically this tank is not nearly as crystal clear as the tank that I had a few years back. I had the 360 gallon Mbuna tank that I had built. It was my first build. I had that about 3 years ago, I guess. I built that somewhere in that department. And I was able to get that tank so sparkly crystal clear it looked like an absolute perfect glass of water. And I often thought, well, why can I not ever get this one that clear? But it's just scratching my head and sitting, it's logic. I've got almond leaves, catappa leaves in here. I've got a lot of wood in here. I had been running peat moss in here in an attempt to bring the pH down a little bit to give it a more natural biotope look. And from what I understand and what I've read, the catappa leaves are kind of an elixir, sort of like adding salt, which I do on an occasion, which is going to help the slime coat the gill function, any irritation. It's going to just basically make the water kind of like taking a bath. When a woman takes a bath with some things that she puts in it to give her skin condition and stuff, it's kind of the same idea. I always had a little bit higher pH naturally in the 360 gallon Mbuna tank as I was speaking. I started off with a lot of guys in the Malawi forum. We were all talking about things, and this can add different things, baking soda, or you can get some different substrates, like a lot of shell, a lot of things that are supposed to help raise the pH, but inevitably things will go back down to where your water is finding its out of tap pH is where it's going to fight to get back to pretty much at all times after things wear out. So unless you're on a regimen, you'll always be chasing that pH, and that regimen of additives gets to be exhausting. So it only makes sense to me that a stable pH is the most important thing. You had Ben Ochart was speaking in his video about GH and KH and pH. They're all related in a way. Your GH and your KH, if they are at a decent number, I have just 5 and 5 are my numbers here. It's a softer water a little bit. My pH is around 7.4, 7.5, but it's very stable. I have 0 ammonia, 0 nitrite. I'm barely striking 10 on my nitrates. I mean, it may be a little cloudy. It does look a little bit like a pond. The lighting gives a little bit of refraction. There's dust that settles. It's an open top, so there's going to be a little bit of dust settling on the surface of the water. Whereas the 360 gallon tank had covers on it. It wasn't quite as big as this, obviously. I kept my pH. It managed to stay close to 8, but it took a little bit of work. I had that crystal clear water. Everything was healthy in all the departments. But I just basically want to say, just because the water is cloudy a little bit, or like in this case, it looks a little bit murky. Plus, when you're looking at almost 6 feet to the back of this tank, you're not going to be able to see everything as vividly. But there's other things, other factors can be involved. If you just did a filter change, you could be going through a mini cycle. If you did over-cleaned your filters, you could have an algae bloom. You know, like I said, you could have the food could be doing it, or the clouding it from like the coloring of the tanning of the colors from the catappa leaves. There's lots of different factors And just because the water is cloudy, if your numbers are good, I mean, everybody wants sparkly water, but what are you going for? Are you going for black water? Are you going for that crystal clear ocean look? Where your numbers are, keeping them stable, that's the key. A stable pH, keeping your ammonia gone, keeping your nitrites gone, and enough general hardness and carbon hardness to keep that pH stable. Those numbers will make your pH stay stable. It's a chemistry lesson. It's a biology lesson. When you're building like I do, it was plumbing, it was carpentry, it was electrical, it was house building. Everything that you want depends where you take your hobby. I just kind of went overboard. Wife kind of pulled the leash off and said go to it, and I had a ball. And there's so much involved with this. I just love every aspect of it. But I wanted to share my thoughts on the clarity and the water quality. I enjoy this a little bit more of a black water, a little murky lake look, and it works. But my numbers are spot on. Any questions? Any comments? Love to hear them. Looking forward to videos coming in for that contest. We got all this month to do it. It's nothing that big, it's nothing that great and exciting. I just wanted to bring the community together. Everybody explain how they did their filtration / plumbing. And any DIY things are I always enjoy seeing those. That's awesome. So hope everybody enjoyed the video. Anybody get anything out of it would be beneficial. Healthy fish keeping is what it's all about. Sharing to help other people succeed is what it's all about. I know I've made enough mistakes, and fortunately I think I've learned quite a bit from them, but I've also had people help me all on the line. Alright everybody, y'all have a great week. Later.